Hi, I'm Sam here at Rick Jones Pianos with a Yamaha full-size upright built in Hamamatsu, Japan in 1979. Yes, 1979. I say it's a full-size upright. It's 52 inches tall. It has a polished ebony case, but it's not a U3. Despite so many U3s having a polished ebony case and all of them being 52 inches tall, but this is a different model. It's called a UX. It's part of a different series, more upscale series of upright pianos made by Yamaha between 1975 and 97. In my opinion, when Yamaha established themselves in this country, or in the United States, as an importer of quality Japanese-made upright pianos with a conventional design, they started to experiment with some different designs. And what's most striking about this piano is its back structure. Usually uprights have several wooden back posts that form the back frame of the piano. That's where the cast iron plates screwed, bolted in. And usually the back posts go up and down because that's roughly the direction of the tension of the strings. But this one doesn't have that. This resembles some more unique designs that Yamaha perhaps found in some old vintage upright pianos, either American-made or German-made. I know I've seen Schimmel uprights have a similar design to this. This has a radial back structure, so instead of just the up and down post, there's one going horizontally and two going in an X pattern, hence the X in the model number. It redistributes the tension differently, apparently. I am also told that there are more points to bolt in the cast iron frame, making it a more stable tuning. Not sure how much any of that is really objectively true, but in my experience as a technician, I have noticed that X series Yamaha uprights do tend to stay in better tune and tend to have tighter tuning pins in the long term than just a regular U series. And U series Yamaha uprights are already really good about that. They're very cooperative to work with and to tune. But this being a more upgraded series, I think Yamaha used not only a more unusual design, but kind of upgraded the quality of the materials too, to make a more premium piano, and it showed in this piano when I went to tune it. And by the way, it came all the way from Korea on a shipping container. Rick's been doing that for a long time. And it was up to pitch. It was A440 was very close to 440, and I just had to sort of bring the rest of the piano in tune with it. And the pins are tight, and it's original to 1979. It's, in my opinion, a testimony to not only how well thought out, engineered, designed, and made Yamaha pianos are, but of the X series in particular, that it's held up so well over time. And I said I tuned it. This is actually my first time playing it. I tuned it just earlier today. The scale design in these X series pianos, that is the shape of the cast iron plate bridges soundboard and how that positions the strings, it's not quite the same as the Yamaha U3. There are some differences. And Yamaha, or any manufacturer, can tweak those differences to get a somewhat different sound. I think in the X series, they were going for a more rich and colorful sound with perhaps a wider dynamic range. And I especially like here in the melody range, it's a very delicate, sweet sound, especially when you play it very softly. It's very subtle and controllable in that way, and it really makes melodies sound beautiful. That's the type of thing that you can expect from an X series upright piano from Yamaha, and this is no exception. Pity they stopped making them in 1997. I think they still make a more upgraded model nowadays that has just a regular back structure. But let it suffice to say that if you were to find a new one of those, I think it's like SU3, I can't remember, YUS3, I forget exactly, but the MSRP on that's going to be more than twice what we're asking for this piano. So as good condition as this piano is in, and with the work that's been done to it, we would invite you to go compare this to a new similar Yamaha YUS3 and see for yourself whether the new piano is 2.5 or whatever times better sounding, playing, feeling, looking than this piano. You're welcome to make your own decision on that matter, but I think you'll be very impressed with how this turned out. I'm pretty pleased with it. The tone, I think, to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, it's quite close to the middle, which earns it a neutral rating of a 5 from 1 to 10. Neither too bright nor too mellow. It does sound more bold, brilliant, crisp. When you play it loudly, you really get that sort of more piercing, intense sound. And the X series was designed to have that more intense sound. But then playing it very softly, as I said, it had that really delicate, sweet, sort of ethereal sound. So I was pleased with that dynamic range. Usually uprights aren't quite as capable when it comes to dynamic range, but this one compensates for that through its design. The touch, I think, is in the middle. It's just an average amount of resistance in the keys, not too easy, not too hard. I'll call it a 5 on the scale from 1 to 10, and I especially like to recommend a tone and touch combination of 5 and 5 amongst pianos in our inventory. I'd like to recommend that for those who may not be as familiar with the differences in pianos and you want to start somewhere safe, especially if you're a parent of a young student, a young child who is a student, who's just beginning. Let it suffice to say, you'll be able to keep this piano a long time without feeling the need to upgrade from it. This is just about as good as it gets amongst our upright pianos. They don't get larger than this almost ever, at least in the past 80 years. And they don't get a whole lot more premium than this. We occasionally get a higher version model of this made by Yamaha called like a UX5, but it's very rare. This is the type of piano where if you wish you could have a grand piano but must have an upright for whatever reason, this is the choice. And if you're parents of a kid who's just starting out, I think you'll be able to be satisfied with this for a very long time. And in fact, there are teachers in especially apartment buildings, say in New York City, or just any city where you're not permitted to have a grand piano. Well, this is going to be their teaching piano, a premium full-size upright piano. With a practice mute, by the way, this one has a practice mute. You push it down, the middle pedal, I mean, hold it. It holds itself in place for you, and it will put a strip of felt between the hammers and the strings. So you, instead of the hammers striking the strings directly, like that, it does it indirectly. So you can play very quietly whenever you need to without disturbing neighbors. So really a very satisfying and capable upright piano. I encourage you to come out, play it for yourself along with everything else in their inventory. But if you can't make it, you can always give us a phone call or send us an email if you have any questions. Thanks.